So, there's a very strange story that I've been really trying to hunt down, and it came about when I was doing some research about Kenya and the so-called terrorist mall attack, and I came across this little video here which I wanted to share with you, and it leads to a very strange rabbit hole. Just listen to what this woman has to say. She's a TV presenter from Kenyan television channel.
The vote on the overhaul of the Kenyan constitution is here. It promises a radical new constitution for the East African country. The research company TNS Research International says more than two-thirds of Kenyans back the proposed changes to the constitution. The report suggests that 1/4 of Kenyans will reject the document, though. Let's take a look.
So she said that there's a radical new constitution. Well, in Kenya, this was 2010 when this radical new constitution came in. Well, what sort of radical constitution is it? Well, just listen to a little bit of this.
The opinion polls say most Kenyans are likely to vote yes. If so, Kenya will become the only country in the region where cabinet is appointed from technocrats and professionals nominated by private business.
So did you hear that? I'm going to play that again. It's going to be the only country in the region to be run by what?
Most Kenyans are likely to vote yes. If so, Kenya will become the only country in the region where cabinet is appointed from technocrats and professionals nominated by private business. It will also reform the country's centralized fiscal system to ensure more resources get to the regions.
Now, that last bit, by the way, that was the added bonus on the end. Not only are they getting like a corporate, self-elected, technocratic government, but also they're reforming their central banking system so that more resources can get to the area. Of course, resources, what are we talking about? We're talking about refugees, people starving. We're talking about international aid. We're talking about humanitarian things. Now this started my spidey sense kind of twinkling. And I just want to go back to the very beginning and listen to what she says again.
The vote on the overhaul of the Kenyan constitution is here. It promises a radical new constitution for the East African country. The research company TNS Research International.
So the research company TNS International are saying that most people are in favour, or were in favour, of this new Kenyan constitution, this technocratic corporate elite. So who are TNS? Well, it's quite interesting because when you start looking into TNS, you go down a strange mystical rabbit hole which comes out here in the UK government. It comes out with non-executive director Eric Salamander, the fiery one. You see, TNS is a group of organizations, a group of companies that are knit together into a great big company called the WPP Group. And if you look up the WPP Group, you're going to find that the WPP Group is a British multinational advertising and public relations company with its offices in London, and it is the world's largest advertising company by revenue. The world's largest advertising company is the company that owns the thing that does public opinion polls internationally. TNS. Eric Salma. TNS, not TNS Radio, obviously, but TNS, which has its headquarters, by the way, in London, in a place called Gray's Inn Road. Now this is their building down here. It is in a very strange building called 222 Let's see if we can get it on here. There it is, 222 Gray's Inn Road, TNS, International Public Behavioural Insight. International. Gray's Inn Road. Now Gray's Inn Road, this is their building here. Just down Gray's Inn Road, in fact here, is Matrix Chambers. Gray's Inn Road. So there's Matrix Chambers. There is TNS International, who said that the Kenyans in 2010 wanted a technocratic, corporate, elitist, centralized fiscal creation. And this, indeed, is linked into what's known as the Nudge Unit, the Behavioural Insights Team. I'm sure a few people have probably come across this before. The Behavioural Insights Team is it was the first cabinet department to be privatised in kind of controversial circumstances, and this is the government Nudge Unit, who use behavioural insight to nudge people and change their behaviour. It says under what we do on their website, in addition to working with almost every government department, we work with local authorities, charities, NGOs, private sector partners and foreign government, developing proposals and testing them empirically, across the full spectrum of government policy. The full spectrum. Every government department and foreign government. But who are they? Well, they have been privatised. The leader of the director is a guy called Dr. David Halpern. And they say we are a small team of 13 with backgrounds in academia, policy making and marketing. We're based in London. Well, of course, Eric Salma is a non-executive director amongst a whole bunch of non-executive directors that David Cameron has put into positions of influence throughout the civil service. This guy is the chairman and CEO of Kantar, the Consumer Insight Division of WPP, the largest marketing services and communications company in the world. He also was in political roles. He used to be a speechwriter for the Labour Party, and he was a non-executive director of the British Museum and the Horse's Mouth Foundation, which, by the way, is now a defunct company, but they did online counselling. Now, it explains non-executive director on this. This is the Department for International Development, which, of course, you're always going to see pictures of, you know, bright-eyed, miserable children, because otherwise they can't, you know, extort and distribute millions, if not billions, of taxpayers' money internationally to fund their little schemes. That's what the Department for International Development is all about. But non-executive director, well, it says at the bottom, non-executive directors form a network across government, a technocratic, unelected, corporate network across the British government, in every government department, led by the government lead non-executive. Well, who is the government lead non-executive? Well, you may recognise this guy. It is, of course, Lord Brown of Madingley, the Baron Brown, the Frack Master General. And of course, he's not the only one. I mean, Kenya isn't the only country that has an unelected corporate private government, because you just have to look at the list of non-executive directors as part of David Cameron's cabinet office, starting with Lord Brown, of course, BP, Ian Davis sat on the board of BP, HSBC, Rona Fairhead, Financial Times, another person from the Financial Times, the Bank of International Settlements, GlaxoSmithKline, the Bank of International Settlements, the Bank of International Settlements. I don't know where she's from. Where's she from? I don't know. The Chief of Morrison's. You have a woman who used to work for Sainsbury's and Abbey National. Coca-Cola. KPMG, I don't know what that is. And David Cameron's cabinet is filled with technocrats, unelected, appointed, corporate private figures. This woman, you know, it's just, it's quite difficult to really get your head. I mean, there's our friend Eric Salamar, British Museum, Oxford College. Just look at this list of unelected corporate corruption.